I'm Marty Prince, and you're watching Ask a Mortgage Broker. Hello, I'm Marty Prince, and I've been a mortgage broker for over 30 years. I've helped hundreds of people buy and refinance their homes, and I started this web series to answer your questions about the mortgage industry. So today's question was submitted to us via our Facebook page by Eric from Santa Ana, and Eric's question is, I checked my credit score and it's about 680. I heard that your score has to be over 700 in order to refinance. Is that true? Okay, this is a good question. No, it does not have to be over 700 in order to refinance. But let's get into credit scoring a little bit, and I'll give you some tips here. The lower the credit score, the more costly your financing is going to be. So obviously you want to have the highest possible credit score you can. You can get financing as low as 620 and still get a good home loan, no question about that. But since we want to get you the best possible loan, here's some tips for you. Okay, number one, obviously the most important thing is make timely payments, pay your bills on time. Don't let any accounts go over 30 days past due. This includes credit cards, automobile loans, your existing mortgage, obviously. And that would be the number one factor is late payments. And you know, time can go by. If you had late payments 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago, those are probably not going to adversely affect your score right now. But you definitely don't want to have something happen in the near recent past. That's not good. That will definitely adversely affect your score. So payment history, number one. The second factor is commonly you don't want to have your accounts maxed out as far as your credit limits. This is probably the number two thing that I see on credit reports that lowers your credit score. If you have a couple of credit cards, and let's say the balances are $2,000 each, the best advice would be keep your your amount borrowed less than 50% of what you owe on the credit card, and then that won't show up as a bad thing on your credit score. Also, if you have several open accounts that you don't have money borrowed against, don't close those with the idea that, well, I better close all my accounts because that's going to raise my score. In fact, the opposite is actually true. The less available credit you have, that can adversely affect your score. So if you have 10 open accounts, great. You've established history, you've proved that you're a good borrower, and the computer looks at that and realizes that you are, and you get rewarded for that. So leave your accounts open. The other tip is, some people think, well, I should open some new accounts now because that'll prove that I'm able to borrow money for some reason. And that's not true necessarily. If you're going to be applying for refinancing, best thing to do is just leave your credit the way it is, pay down your accounts so that they're manageable, but don't start opening up new accounts because the computer, again, for some reason looks at that and thinks something's going on here, and you can be adversely affected on your score that way. The other thing is, don't get into a situation where you have to prove yourself right. What I mean by that is, I had a customer recently who had a 15, 20-year perfect credit history, and then his cell phone company decided that he owed them an $80 bill, which was not true. And instead of dealing with it and paying it and then coming back and fixing it later, he disputed it and disputed it, and finally they sent him to collection. Well, what happens is when you go to collection, his credit scores went from the mid-700s to down about 600, believe it or not, like a 160-point drop because of the fact that the word collection shows up on your credit report. So it could be a $5 collection account, it could be a $10,000 collection account, but what you don't want to do is get yourself in a position where you are going to collection on an account. So avoid that at all possible costs. Okay, so those are the best pointers I can give you regarding credit. I hope that's answered your questions. If you or someone you know has a question relating to anything in the mortgage industry, email it to mprince@socal.rr.com or send it to us via the Facebook page so we can feature it in a future episode. And be sure to give a thumbs up and subscribe if you like what you saw there. And as always, thanks for watching.